Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all around the world, dear viewers. This is Madassar Majid, ESL expert and media professional from Pakistan. Very warm welcome to all of you who are watching this live session. At first, I would like to tell you something about this platform. This is a platform where we connect with our esteemed experts and visionaries from all across the globe to explore thought-provoking topics that inspire growth, learning, and global understanding. Stay connected as we have invited Madam Elena from UK. Madam, very warm welcome you in this session. How are you, ma'am?
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Madam, please introduce yourself before our audience so that our audience may get to know about you. That was Madam Elena.
So my name is Elena Stolbaushkina. I have been teaching English for 29 years. I help students with English language for academic and professional purposes. Particularly, I help students to prepare for international English language examinations such as IELTS, TOEFL, IGCSE. Duolingo is very popular nowadays, Cambridge exams as well, and others.
Okay, so
So
this is a
yes, I name
comprehensive.
myself as an examination strategist.
Yeah,
And
29 years of experience. Definitely that matters, especially when it comes to English teaching. So that's a really great, and definitely from today's session, a lot of our educationists will be learning from your expertise and experience. So, dear viewers, I just want to tell you the topic of the day that we are going to have it under discussion. So, our topic is about IELTS success, answering and the most common questions and mistakes that of test takers. So this would be the topic on which today we are going to have a discussion. So in this regard, the very first question I would like to put forward to Madam Alina that what are the most common concern the students face when they begin preparing for IELTS test? How would you explain it?
from my experience of working with non-native speakers for 29 years, as I have already said, I have noticed one common concern. So most students come to me with one problem as they think they have. They need more English language. They say, as they think they need more grammar, more vocabulary to succeed in IELTS exam. So, but the truth is, in most cases, when they come to me, they already have enough knowledge, enough grammar. Their grammar is solid. They have a decent range of vocabulary, but unfortunately, they still behind the score they need. So obviously, the problem is not in English language itself. So recently, one student came to me, a young lady. If you checked her English language knowledge, you would say she was impressive, but still she couldn't pass the exam. She couldn't receive the score she needed. And after our first diagnostic session, where I always start from, I identified that the problem was not in English language itself, not in grammar, not in the lack of vocabulary, but in her performance. So here is the gap. Here is the problem, actually. Knowing language and understanding and knowing how to use this knowledge you already have. They are two absolutely different things. And this is where we always start from. So the proper skills they need to perform, to use the language they already have. But unfortunately,
Okay,
again and
that's
again,
great. And let's start.
students
Yes, definitely.
are worried about their language, their knowledge.
Mhm. Okay, so madam, let's
Yes.
talk about speaking and writing video. So, what are the strategies one should adopt, especially particularly that students who will be preparing for the IELTS test? So, how would you explain about speaking and writing video at first? So, let's have a glance on this particular video about speaking and writing. How would you explain the at first when we talk about speaking test? So, what are the things, what are the strategies one should adopt when he or she is going to appear in IELTS test?
Well, I would say the problem starts before the test itself. The problem starts during the period they prepare for the test. And the biggest mistake is the students, they memorize, they learn by heart so-called, clever words, clever phrases, or complicated grammar. So they learn by heart those words from those list, so-called C2 level or C1 level words and phrases you have to use. And here is the problem. When they come to the exam with those prepared phrases, those prepared structures, the examiner, they are very experienced listeners, and they can identify where you deliver memorized sentences and where you genuinely share your opinion. And actually, what they are waiting from the students is a genuine opinion and ability to share the idea clearly using your words. And this is why, when, of course, I don't say that we don't have to improve grammar or vocabulary. No, we do have to, but we have to do it in a meaningful way. So when we take a new grammar structure or new words, we don't memorize them. We live them, we experience them, we remember activities or I don't know, situations in our life where you could use this word, where will you use this word, who you will talk with using this word. And then when it comes to the exam, when you answer the question, these words, they appear naturally, but not in the way when they insert these words in an artificial way, and it sounds not naturally. So, but everybody forgets that they don't assess how much you know. They assess how you perform. So communication skills, how you maintain a dialogue in a natural way. Talking about writing, so first of all, we have to identify the structure, the question itself, the type of the essay. So are they asking about your opinion? Are they asking about advantages and disadvantages? Or are they asking about problems and solutions? So here we have to identify which structure we are going to use. And then to deliver the main idea, it is important to identify a core idea of the question again, and deliver it in a structured way. So clearly, they check us if we are able to prove our ideas, give evidences, a logical conclusion. So yes, all these factors matter, but not about many students think the more clever words I will use, the higher score I will receive. No, it doesn't work like that. So they check the ability, how you will share thoughts genuinely and in a natural way. And here, talking about speaking speaking and writing, also we have to understand the difference of a style. So in writing, we use a formal style, and in speaking, we use a semi-formal style. Yes, and here again, we have to understand. So again, while preparing, the students have to be aware of the requirements and to meet those requirements, and what they have to demonstrate to achieve this or that score. So it's all about understanding the format and the requirements of the exam, but not just the language itself.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of students these days, they memorize, they cram, and they go and appear in the IELTS test. That's why they do not get the proper band score. That is the main thing. But the thing is that, especially in IELTS test, if you're going to appear in IELTS test, so you have to take this thing in your mind that creativity always matters. If you have creativity, so you will be able to get good band score. If you are not, you're just trying to get, if you think so that you will be able to learn few sentences, few memorize few lines, and you will be able to write the writing test as well as in speaking. So you can do well. I don't think so. So the same way you said, in the same similar fashion, you have explained the things as well. I'm sorry. My question is to you next, that reading is considered to be the most difficult task. These days a lot of students they face difficulty in reading, and especially how do they they're facing time management, and they face a lot of issues like that. They're unable to get the answers and all accurately, and the time passes. How would you explain? Because there are different strategies that are applied when they are learning, especially skimming and scanning and classification and all that. How will you explain when it comes to reading tests, how the students can easily go through from the IELTS reading test? How would you explain it? Because this is considered to be the most difficult module. So how would you make it easy for the people watching this live session?
Well, reading is all about the right technique. So most students, the most frequent mistake is that they go to a text first. They read a text trying to understand all the words, and then they go to the questions, and then they go back to the text. So they're wasting time, and this is where they lose time. So, and this is the first reason, of course, they will lose the points, the scores. For what they have to do is start from the questions, of course, identify a core idea. So, and here is the next step. Yes, first a right technique, and then the ability of identifying a core skill, a core idea of the question. Uh, but again, it is not enough, because we have to understand how to deliver this main idea using different grammar structures, using different words, because they will find the answer to this question and it will be delivered in the text with different words differently. So here we have to develop different skills. Yes. So when a student say, oh, there are 3 options to this question, all of them can work, how can I identify? It means only one thing, that this student can't identify a core idea of this question. So it's a skill, and this is where we have to develop, because again, they think, oh, I need to know more vocabulary, I don't know this or that word, but they check the ability of reading the situation in the text, in the question, reading the main idea, even if you don't know all the words, and we don't have to know all the words. So the issue is, so the most students, they don't realize actually what the IELTS test is. So we know the IELTS test is required for visa seekers, for university appliers, yes, so future workers, for different. And most test takers, they don't realize that actually this test checks the ability of surviving in the English language environment. Will this candidate be able to communicate clearly in an international company, in the English-speaking team? Will this candidate be able to study in English independently? Or will they be able to understand the tasks of an employer? Or will they be able to deliver their thoughts clearly? So these are core skills that are assessed actually by this test, not how many words you know, not what technique you use, but and when the students start considering this exam from this perspective, from this understanding, but not as how much grammar I know, how many words I have learned, they will progress very, very fast. Because core skills first, through language knowledge, of course, but because they are checked in English. But English without those core scores, nothing is nothing.
Okay, there are a lot of students are having different types of myths in their mind that they just think so that if they have this thing, and definitely they'll be able to get a good band score in IELTS and this and that. So, do you think so that what are the most commonly myths that students are accepting it, or they should stop believing on those particular myths, and how they can improve their band score instead of following and the wrong myths that they have they have believed on that? How would you explain it?
Sorry, say again, please, because
Especially when it comes to the myths, that a lot of students having different myths in their mind, and that today, if they will do this, they will be able to get a good band score.
yeah, I got it. Yes.
So in this regard, what do you think? What do you think? So that what are the what are the myths that they should stop believing and start improving the good IELTS band score by adopting different techniques and strategies? What do you say
Yes.
about it?
Yes, actually, the most I don't know, popular myth, if I could say like that. So first, we have to upgrade our English language level, and then we have to prepare for the IELTS test. This is one thing what I have noticed, and I have already said that it is not true and it doesn't work like that, because I have already said many students with a very good knowledge of English language itself, but they are not prepared for the IELTS test and they fail. And vice versa, when students, let's say with A1 or A2 level, and in a few months they receive 6.0 or yes, so a very impressive score. Not because, of course, we improve the English language, but through, first of all, we develop skills and in the format of the exam. So, and the second myth, it's about timing. So many students think that you need years and years to prepare for the IELTS test. Again, my students prove that they just in 1 month or in 2 months, they go and receive the score they need after years of learning language. So what they need is the right strategy. Every student needs a different strategy. Because every student has a different background, different skills. So having a lot of complicated, I don't know, vocabulary, yes, but when a student simply can't answer the question, why do you like cooking? Or why don't you like cooking? So that's it. And they will never, ever achieve a high score without thinking abilities, without logical thinking, creative thinking, and most importantly, sharing their personal opinion, their personal experience, rather than memorized sentences that pull them back.
Okay. So, madam, what do you say about especially to those students who are going to appear, or who are going to appear in IELTS test next month? What type of piece of advice that you would like to give to the students who are preparing for IELTS? You know, taking that thing apart from the mind that there is the pressure of IELTS and all that. What is the main message that you would like to give to them to improve overall their confidence level, their acceptance about that they're going to appear in IELTS test and all that? What would you like to say? The one piece of advice that you'd like to give to the new test takers who are going to appear in IELTS test?
Yeah. First of all, I would say stop scrolling the videos on the internet, trying to search that magic pill which will help you hack the IELTS test. It doesn't exist. This is what I will say, because yes, they are trying to listen to many different experts, trying to find that secret, but this is where they become less confident, because one advice for one student, it will work. For this student, that advice will not work. What they have to do is to identify what strengths they already have and what they already can use, what gives them scores right now, and what pulls them back, why they make this or that mistake, what to do differently next time, and to follow one strategy. And of course, in the compliance with official assessment criteria, not just because I think that it is better, not because it sounds more clever. No, just it must be in a compliance or in the line with all the assessment criteria to meet all those requirements. So, and when a student knows their strengths and their weaknesses and what to do, they don't have to develop all the skills, because not everybody needs C1 or C2, but what skills exactly you need right now to develop to achieve B2, for example, or maybe you need only B1. So they have to know what score they need, what skills they need for that, and follow one right strategy for them. And it will make them confident.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a good message for the new IELTS test taker. So thank you very much, madam, for your valuable and precious time for this insightful discussion that we had today. And I hope so that a lot of our audience who are watching this session, definitely they might have gained a lot of information and the knowledge, and particularly that, about the IELTS test as well. So see you. Thank you very much. I would like to say, madam, thank you very much for your insightful discussion and your time. And
you are very welcome. It
Yes,
was a pleasure. Bye for now. Thank you.